Self-study recommendations for the new NP. Tribe member who is a brand new nurse practitioner who has just figured out that the leap from RN to NP is not what they expected. The leap is fairly large. The learning gap is huge. And this particular tribe member, this new nurse practitioner, is a new acute care nurse practitioner and is interested in some self-study material. This is a difficult question to answer because there isn't one. You're going to have to curtail it to whatever your setting is. For me, when I started in the ICU as a brand new acute care nurse practitioner, it was recommended to me by a physician colleague to read the ICU book. Quite literally, that's the name of the book, the ICU book. And there's a large textbook version and there's a mini book version that you can actually take with you on the unit. I read that book from cover to cover, probably in the first 6 months because it's a pretty big book, and that helped me immensely. But outside of that, you really have to choose your battle on what is it that you're struggling with. I was interested in learning more about ventilators. Ventilators scared me as a bedside nurse, so I did everything I could to learn more about ventilators. And then now as a provider, a new provider, I was 10 times more scared than I was before because now I was going to actually have to prescribe specific interventions and pick certain settings on a ventilator and know what those settings were and what they meant and when to use them and not to use them and what do some of these things mean. And you know there's volume control and pressure control and APRV and bi-level, and it was mind-boggling, and it hurt my brain and it scared me. My supervisor at the time actually recommended and actually shared with me his book, and it's called The Ventilator Book. Seems the smarter you get, the more simple the book descriptions get, book titles. Literally called The Ventilator Book. And it's an intro to ventilators for the new physician, which can be applied to the new nurse practitioner. I read that one, and then years later I acquired that book and then bought the Advanced Ventilator Book, which also is a bomb to read. I meant it's the bomb, not a bad book. Yeah, you know what I mean. So there isn't a catch-all. There isn't a one book for everything. It has to be customized to whatever setting you're in. If you're in the ICU, then I would recommend the books I mentioned. But if you're an acute care nurse practitioner working for a specialty office, then you need to talk with your preceptors and your physician colleagues and your other advanced practice providers on what books they recommend, what books they used. The books that I recommended are specific to the ICU, pretty self-explanatory. The nurse practitioner role is very specialized, so the answer to your question is also going to be very specialized.